Next, we're going to learn about the third season, that is your southwest monsoon season, which is also known as the season of advancing monsoon. Now, what is happening? This is the time when the southwest monsoon approaches our Indian subcontinent. So that is why we receive heavy rainfall. So let us understand the different characteristics of this monsoon. So here are a few characteristics given here. You might be asked in your boards two characteristics of southwest monsoon, features of southwest monsoon. So let us go through each feature in detail. The first is that most parts of India receives rainfall from this branch. So southwest monsoon is a very powerful branch giving a lot of rainfall to most part of our country, except for the region of Tamil Nadu, like Coromandel coast receives very little rainfall from this branch, whereas other parts of India receives large amount of rainfall from this monsoon. Second, it is irregular, unreliable, and very unevenly distributed. That is a very important characteristic of southwest monsoon. They are erratic, meaning irregular in nature, meaning the exact month of arrival and departure is not fixed. Very unreliable. Sometimes they can give heavy showers, but sometimes it can have some areas undergoing conditions like drought, and unevenly distributed, like you've understood in the previous class how windward side gets more rainfall, leeward again receives less rainfall, Rajasthan getting very little rainfall. So the distribution of rainfall of southwest monsoon is very uneven in nature. Third, rainfall is always accompanied by very torrential, powerful thunder, lightning. That is what is characterized with monsoon. We experience rainfall for about 3 to 4 months, and rainfall is largely influenced and determined by orography, meaning relief features, mountains. Everywhere, I'm sure if you connect to the previous lesson that we've learned, you will see that everywhere the relief features or the mountains play a very important role in affecting the monsoon, like a Western Ghats, how it acts as an obstruction. Similarly, Aravalli Range, Himalayas, a Purvanchal mountains. So you will see that it is highly influenced or controlled by orography or your relief features like mountains. And the next, due to the peninsular shape of the country, because we have a peninsular shape, this is what is a peninsular shape of the country. What is happening? Because we have a peninsular shape, the monsoon, southwest monsoon is divided in two. One is the Arabian Sea Branch and your Bay of Bengal branch. So that's the two branch of your southwest monsoon, Arabian and Bay of Bengal. Now we'll learn about the two branch in detail. So these are your characteristics of the southwest monsoon. Please try to at least learn 2-3 features, so that if you get question, you should be able to write. I would recommend you learn point 2. This is very important. Rest you can choose on your own. Point E is also very important. So two are very important features of this monsoon. Now to begin with the Arabian Sea Branch, we've already covered in the previous class. Arabian Sea Branch, I'll just quickly review. Arabian Sea Branch is a very powerful branch because of the size of the Arabian Sea. They pick up a lot of moisture. That is why they provide rainfall to most part of our country. Kerala has the longest rainy season. Very important question you may ask, because they receive rainfall from the southwest as well as they receive rainfall from the advancing monsoon as well as from the retreating, going back also they get rainfall, as well as when the monsoon reaches the Indian subcontinent also they receive rainfall. Similarly, here again we learned in the previous class that the Western Ghats act as a barrier. That's why Mumbai and Pune, this is a proper example. Mumbai receives 200 centimeter, whereas Pune, which is just less than 200 kilometers away from Mumbai, receives only 50 centimeters of rainfall, because Mumbai lies on the windward side of Western Ghats, whereas Pune lies on the leeward side or the rain shadow region of Western Ghats. That is what we learned in the previous class. Similarly, here this is about Aravalli Range. If you remember, we learned how Aravalli mountain is parallel to southwest monsoon. That's why southwest monsoon gives very little rainfall to Rajasthan region. That's why Thar is a desert, because Aravalli is parallel to the southwest monsoon winds. Now here are a few characteristics of your Arabian Sea Branch. One is that they are very greater in volume. Because of the large size of Arabian Sea, they're very more powerful. They give rainfall to most part of a country. Kerala also they give rainfall. The western coastal plain receive very high rainfall because they are on the windward side, whereas the leeward side receives only 50 to 60 centimeter of rainfall. And we've even learned that how Aravalli blocks the rain. That's why they don't get rainfall. So these are a few characteristics of the Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoon, and here they've explained with the help of diagram green shadow area leeward, that part of the mountain which receives very little or no rainfall, whereas this is your windward side which gives very heavy rainfall. Now moving to the second branch, that's the Bay of Bengal branch. Bay of Bengal branch, you must know that they blow from the Bay of Bengal parallel to the Coromandel coast. That's why if you remember, we learned that the southwest monsoon gives rainfall to most parts of country except Tamil Nadu or the Coromandel coast. Why? Because they are parallel to the Bay of Bengal. So I'll just draw here to help you explain. So this is the Coromandel coast and the Bay of Bengal is blowing like this. So they are parallel to each other. That's why they don't move this way, rather they follow their path and move upward. That's why Coromandel receives little rainfall from this branch because they are parallel, like Aravalli, parallel to Arabian Sea branch. Coromandel is parallel to Bay of Bengal. The second thing about Bay of Bengal is that they are blocked by Garo Khasi hills. That's why they give highest amount of rainfall in places like Cherrapunji and Monsoon. You must know this. That's why Cherrapunji, Monsoon receives heavy rain. Why? Because they are on the windward side of Khasi Hill, whereas Shillong gets very little rainfall because Shillong is on the leeward side of Khasi Hill. So this is something that you have to remember. And most of the time you get questions asked on why Cherrapunji receives the heaviest rainfall, Shillong receives less rainfall. You must write the two important terms, windward, leeward, with the name of the hill. Now the next thing about Bay of Bengal branch is this portion. I'll just try to explain. So what happens is, as the Bay of Bengal, they get deflected towards the west and they start moving upwards towards the Himalayan region. So they cause rainfall in the Ganga Valley. So this is the Ganga Valley. So give rainfall. So as they would approach, they give rainfall. And what happens to rainfall? The amount of rainfall starts declining. So as they move upward, the amount of rainfall starts declining. So what happens? I just take an example here. Kolkata, this is the error. It receives 120. So this is, I'll just draw here so that you can understand. So as the Bay of Bengal southwest monsoon enters here, they pick a lot of moisture, drop a lot of rainfall here. Similarly, here also they drop, and as they move upwards, the amount of rainfall starts decreasing, very little rainfall. Because the moisture is heavy, so they drop most of the moisture in Kolkata, following Patna, then Lucknow gets little more, and Delhi gets very less amount of rainfall. That's why here, if you look into the example given here, Kolkata receives 120 because most of the rainfall gets dropped at Kolkata. Patna gets, which is little away from Kolkata, gets little less, that is 107. Allahabad, little far, only 90, whereas Delhi, which is little very far, gets only 50 centimeter. That is why the amount of rainfall keeps on decreasing. The rainfall keeps decreasing as you move further up the Ganga Valley region. The next are your characteristics of your Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon. One is that they give plenty of rainfall to this belt. Andaman Nicobar gets heavy rainfall from this branch of southwest monsoon. Second, they are parallel. So this is the Coromandel. They are parallel to Coromandel coast. This is the Coromandel. They are parallel. And third, they block by Garo Khasi, giving heavy rainfall to Cherrapunji and Monsoon, whereas Shillong receiving very little rainfall. Here we've already learned here point number 4, which we just covered, how Himalayan rainfall keeps decreasing as we move from Kolkata higher up. So that's the feature. And the next is about Aravalli Range. There's one part which gives rainfall, which does not get rainfall, whereas eastern end of Aravalli gets little rainfall, whereas the other portion do not get because of the orientation of Aravalli. Now differences for Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal of the southwest only. Arabian is greater in volume because it's very powerful, less powerful. It gives rainfall to most parts of India. It gives rainfall to mostly in northeastern states, Myanmar, Thailand. It covers greater region. It has very less region receives rainfall from the Bay of Bengal. two terms. What do you mean by burst of monsoon? Burst meaning the sudden approach of monsoon. When the monsoon arrives with thunderstorm, lightning, heavy shower, that is known as a burst of monsoon. Break meaning, on the term itself, break, when the monsoon becomes weak, that is known as a break of monsoon. And these are your things that we already covered. You can have a look if you want to read further. So here I'll just explain again about the Bay of Bengal. This is what I was talking about here, Coromandel coast region being here. So when the Bay of Bengal branch southwest, they are parallel to each other. This is what is called being parallel. So what happens? Instead of giving moisture to this region, the monsoon follows its path and moves further up. Here they pick up a lot of moisture, drop heavy rainfall at Kolkata. Kolkata gets heavy rainfall. As they move further up to Ganga, Patna gets little less than Kolkata. Lucknow gets less, and by the time they reach Delhi, the amount of rainfall is very, very low. This is the southwest monsoon of Bay of Bengal. So that is what I wanted to explain. Here a few things that you from the table. First table, I want you to know about the source, Coromandel, and that is a Punjab region, that's a Ganga plain. Most of the time you get confused. So what is the source of rainfall? Coromandel gets rainfall always from the northeast, that is your going back, retreating monsoon, whereas the Ganga is always, that's a Punjab, is always getting winter rainfall from the western disturbances, which is also known as westerly depression. So beneficial for rice, beneficial for wheat. So just two things that you have to remember. And not so important, but just for your understanding what is temperate, tropical, just know that one is more powerful, more rainfall, one causes less rainfall. So that's your third, that is your season of advancing monsoon or the southwest monsoon, which has two branches. One is the Arabian Sea and one is your Bay of Bengal branch. Now moving to the last season, that is a retreating, meaning going back of the monsoon. Now you have to understand, why do monsoon go back? Now monsoon goes back because of the pressure being high in the land over the Indian subcontinent, because it's October-November time. So what is happening here? There's high pressure created over the surface, whereas there is low pressure which is created over the water body. So because wind moves from high to low, so when there is high pressure of the land, so wind starts moving from land to sea. So that is why monsoon starts retreating. Hence we call it as a retreating monsoon, which takes place in the month of October-November. Now before we proceed further, one term that you must know, during the month of October you see that there's cloudless sky, the temperature becomes very high, the weather becomes very oppressive in nature. So that period during October is known as October heat. So just learn the definition of October heat. Now what happens? Why is the monsoon retreat? So this season is known as a post-monsoon, meaning after monsoon, or the season of retreating. Retreat means to withdraw. Now the wind starts going back. So this is why is the wind retreating? Because again the sun rays are vertical over Capricorn. So Capricorn has high temperature, low pressure, whereas the surface in the Indian subcontinent have high pressure but low temperature, because the sun rays are oblique. So wind always moves from high to low. So this is the time for wind to go back, because there is high pressure on the land, low pressure over the water. So wind moves from high to low. That is how they move back. So this is what happens during the retreating season. Now here you must know few months, to be specific, as to how they continue retreating till the month of October. The rainfall starts decreasing slowly from July. They start withdrawing September, November. That is how they start. Gradual, it is gradual, and it requires 3 months. This is how they start withdrawing monsoon from the different states during this period. Now just using the help of this diagram, just explain what is covered in this section. So what is happening? Because like I told you, this is the retreating time when the sun rays are vertical over the Tropic of Capricorn. So here is the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the time when the sun rays are direct here. So direct meaning temperature is high, pressure is low. Whereas on the surface, temperature is low, pressure is high, and we always know that wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. So then here is high pressure, so wind starts moving from land, picks moisture from sea. This is how they leave the Indian subcontinent. So this is what is called retreating back, because of the atmospheric condition being high and over the land and low over the sea. So that is the reason why they retreat. And when they retreat, you must remember that retreating monsoon or the northeast monsoon, they don't give rainfall to most part of country, but only to few states, that's mostly in the south. They pick moisture from Bay of Bengal. These are Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala gets rainfall, and that is how they exit our Indian subcontinent. So this is the mechanism of the withdrawal of monsoon. Why do they withdraw? It's because of the pressure condition, and they give rainfall just the southern part of the states, that's the Coromandel Coast region, the Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala region. So that is about the 4 seasons of India. Now here are a few questions for you to work on. Please try to read the question very carefully and understand and try to answer exactly what the question demands. Especially, I'll just talk about question number 3, name the following, and question number 10. Now, if you have a look at question number 3, that's name the following, where you just have to name the wind. Whereas question number 10, you have to explain the term. The reason why I've given you the same type of question, similar answer type question, is because sometimes you can get question in the form of name the following. At the same time, sometimes you'll be asked to explain the term. So it is very important that you try to answer both type of the question for your own safety. Now this is the end. If you have any question, concerns, please feel free to share. Go through the YouTube channel and you can comment. You can always WhatsApp me your concern question. So I expect you to solve the question and send in by tomorrow.